Have you ever wondered how to get that vintage look that film used to give you with digital images? A few years ago, I met this company that's called Dehancer, and lately I've been using it a lot to take off some of that digital look that some AI platforms give you and give it like a more organic look. This tool has different effects. It's a paid tool, but a very good one that I find myself using a lot now. And I wanted to make this video to show it how to do the post-production to achieve this kind of look, not only with digital images from a camera. So we have here our images first. I'm gonna start with this frame, and I'm gonna go directly to the color tab or the color correction tab where you can see the nodes. Now we're gonna create a new serial node, and what I like to do, I always like to give it an output. Like that's the first thing that I do, change the color space and give it like a more proper one. And this is like right now it's just raw footage and doesn't have any LUTs. So we're gonna use a color profile for this. I always use ARRI Wide Gamut 3 or 4 or the ACES AP1 depending on the shot and the light conditions. But for now we're gonna use the ARRI Wide Gamut 4. If you can notice, it already gives you a change of the color, but it doesn't change the gamma since we only like put in the color space. I'm just going to remove it, and now you see how it quickly turns the video into a more colorful video. And if we change to the Wide Gamut 3, we get like a slight yellower look. 4 and 3. It's very subtle difference. And since this is B-RAW, we're not using any gamma, particular gamma. So we're gonna start by using it the camera that was made of. It was a Blackmagic design, so 4K film. So we're gonna give that light space and already fix the gamma. As you can see, this is the way I saw it in the monitor when I was shooting. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I'm just gonna go for more contrast, but I'm gonna get another node in between these two. So I'm just gonna fix the shadows on this. I'm just gonna give it a bit more depth. So we can also change the contrast and all that from the curve. For that, we just press here and we can just adjust it manually. I only recommend you to do this if you are familiar with curves, because otherwise it can be very challenging. I used to do a lot of color correction in Photoshop, so that's why I know how to use these curves. But you can just like, if you go like very intense, it can go like really crazy, as you can see. I'm happy with this result. I will just like try to give it a bit more a color boost. Not so much, just like 10, and maybe adjust a little bit the shadows. So let's see the difference without the correction and now with the correction. And we're gonna use now Dehancer. I have the 6.3 version of Dehancer Pro, and I just drop it there. It's not very pleasing when you just put it there, because as you can see here, by default you're gonna get a Rec 709 source, but this is not a Rec 709. This is a source that we can tell the camera that we used, and we're just gonna go to Blackmagic Design and use the camera Pocket Cinema 4K. That was the one we used. First instance, I think it's too much grain. We could just control that by changing the opacity of that node. We just go to this option and we manage our key input, which is like gonna drag it down drastically. So as you can see, we can get some of the texture without that much noise. But I still think it's too heavy, and it's just like really dense. I'm just gonna see like if they have another profile. Here you can get like a lot of profiles. There are some that are very experimental. I mean, there are like this Adox Color Implosion, Avga Color. So now it's too faded. Like I think it's like the image is too faded. So I can just like change the exposure compensation, and it changes a little bit. We can also change the temperature. This is a bit more greenish, bluish. Sometimes the Kodaks are more warm and the Fuji color are a little bit more greenish, on the greenish side. So I would just like recommend you to taste different ones. I mean, this is quite good. I like it. This is the last step because it's very GPU consuming. It takes a lot of memory from the GPU. So I would recommend you to do this just when you have like the final cut. Digital footage from Runway. This is video to video. I'm gonna copy this node, and I'm just gonna do it directly. And as you can see, it already gives me this kind of cool look. And we're gonna change the bloom. Now you can see it more drastically. Just see how it turns digital image from a more organic look, even if it's AI.